My sister didn't steal my boyfriend behind my back. She did it right in front of me, at my own birthday dinner, in front of my entire family. She reached across the table, put her hand on his, looked at me with those eyes, and said, "I have to be honest. I have feelings for him. I've had them for months." The whole table went silent. My mother looked at her plate. My father cleared his throat. And Jake, the man I had loved for 3 years, he didn't pull his hand away. I was 23 years old. It was my birthday. There was still cake on the table. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I stood up, folded my napkin very carefully, placed it on my chair, and walked out of that restaurant. Nobody followed me. 7 years later, my phone rang at midnight. My sister, crying harder than I had ever heard another human being cry. "He's leaving me," she sobbed. "He's been cheating. For years. Please, I need you. You're the only one who can help me. Please." And I sat in the dark, and I thought about that birthday dinner, and I made a choice that surprised even me. My name is Elena, and my sister's name is Vivian, and from the very beginning, we were never quite the same kind of people. Vivian was 2 years older, beautiful in a way that the whole world noticed immediately. Bright blonde hair, easy laugh, the kind of person who walked into a room and rearranged it around herself without even trying. I was quieter, darker hair, more books than parties, more listening than talking. The kind of person who people liked once they got to know her, but who never made an immediate impression. Growing up, people always said, "Oh, you're Vivian's sister." Like that was my primary identity. Not Elena, Vivian's sister. I didn't resent Vivian for that. Not then. She couldn't help being magnetic. And in private, just the two of us, she was my best friend. We shared a room until I was 16. We told each other everything. We stayed up late whispering about our futures. She was going to be famous somehow. She always said that. "I'm going to be someone people remember, Ellie." And me? I just wanted to build something real. Something quiet and solid and genuinely mine. I thought we wanted different enough things that we would never compete. I was wrong. I met Jake at 20. College. He was in my economics class, sat 2 rows behind me, kept giving wrong answers with complete confidence, and somehow made me laugh every single time. We became friends first. 6 months of friendship before anything else. The kind of friendship that slowly, quietly turns into something more without either person planning it. He was warm, funny, genuinely kind in small ways, the ways that matter more than grand gestures. He remembered things, little things, your coffee order, the name of your childhood dog, the thing that made you nervous before a presentation. I fell in love slowly and completely and without any reservations. We were together for 3 years. Happy years. Genuinely happy. Vivian met him at Christmas of our first year together. She was charming. She was always charming. And Jake liked her immediately the way everyone liked Vivian immediately. I noticed nothing. Because I trusted both of them completely. Looking back, there were signs. Vivian asking about Jake more than felt normal. Jake mentioning Vivian in conversations where she didn't need to be mentioned. A text here. A laugh there that stopped when I walked in. But I was 23 and in love, and I chose to see what I wanted to see. Until my birthday dinner. It was a Saturday evening in March. Mom had booked a table at a nice restaurant downtown. Dad, Mom, Vivian, Jake and me. My 23rd birthday. I remember what I was wearing. A green dress I had saved up for. I remember the candle on the table. I remember feeling genuinely happy, genuinely grateful. We were halfway through the main course when Vivian put down her fork. She had that look on her face, the one she got when she had decided something and there was no going back. "I need to say something," she said, "and I know this isn't the right moment. But there's never going to be a right moment and I can't keep carrying this." Something cold moved through me. I don't know how I knew. I just knew. She reached across the table, put her hand on Jake's. "I have feelings for him. I've had them for months. And I think he might feel the same way. I'm so sorry, Elena. I love you. But I can't keep lying." The table went completely silent. I looked at Jake. He was looking at the tablecloth. He didn't pull his hand away. That was the answer. That right there. My mother made a small sound. My father said, "Vivian, this is not," and then stopped. I looked at my birthday cake sitting on the side table, still uncut, Still waiting. I stood up, folded my napkin very carefully, placed it on my chair. I looked at Vivian, and I said, very quietly, I hope it was worth it. And I walked out, into the cold March night, alone, in my green dress. On my birthday, nobody followed me. I walked 6 blocks to my apartment, sat on my bathroom floor, and cried until I physically couldn't anymore. And then I washed my face, made tea, opened my laptop, and started applying for jobs in other cities. Because I was never going to sit at another table and be ambushed in my own life again. I moved to Seattle 3 months later. New job, new city, new version of myself that nobody had any prior claims on. Mom called every week. Carefully avoided mentioning Vivian and Jake for the first year. Then one Sunday, they're together officially now. I thought you should hear it from me. I said, okay, Mom, thanks for telling me, and changed the subject. What I did not do, and this took real discipline, was fall apart. I had done my falling apart on that bathroom floor. I was done. I built my career in Seattle with the same quiet intensity one had always applied to things that mattered. Marketing consulting. Started junior. Moved up consistently. Made a name for myself in a specific niche, brand crisis management. Helping companies survive their worst moments. Fixing broken reputations. Rebuilding trust after betrayal. The irony was not lost on me. I dated. Nothing serious for the first 3 years. Then someone serious, a good man named Thomas. We were together for 2 years before we both honestly admitted we were better as friends. We're still friends. Good ones. I built a life that was genuinely mine. Apartment I loved. Work I was proud of. Friends who knew me as Elena, not as anyone's sister. Vivian. And Jake got engaged after 2 years. Married after 4. Mom sent pictures. I sent a gift and a card. I did not attend the wedding. Mom understood. Dad understood. Neither of them pushed. And then, 7 years after that birthday dinner, my phone rang at midnight. I almost didn't pick up. It was late. I had an early meeting. I saw her name on the screen and felt that old familiar tightening in my chest. But she was still my sister. Whatever she had done, she was still my sister. I picked up. She was crying so hard I couldn't understand her for the first 30 seconds. Deep, wrenching sobs. The kind that come from somewhere very fundamental breaking. I waited. Let her breathe. Finally, he's been cheating. 4 years, Elena. Years. With multiple women. I found everything last night. Messages, photos, hotel receipts going back to before we were even married. Silence. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to call. Mom is going to say I told you, so, and I can't. I cannot hear that right now. And you're the only person I know who is actually strong. Who actually knows how to survive something falling apart. Please help me. I sat in my dark apartment. Seattle rain against the windows. I thought about the green dress. The folded napkin. Walking 6 blocks alone in the cold. I thought about 7 years of building myself back up from that bathroom floor. And then I thought about something else. Something that surprised me. I thought, she is alone right now. In the dark. On a bathroom floor somewhere. The same way I was. And whatever she did to me, I knew exactly what that felt like. I said, take a breath. Tell me everything. From the beginnings. I want to be very clear about something. I did not help Vivian save her marriage. Because her marriage was not worth saving. A man who had been cheating since before the wedding, with documented, extensive, deliberate betrayal. That is not a marriage with a future. That is a pattern of a person showing you exactly who they are. What I helped Vivian do was survive the end of it. I flew to see her 2 weeks after that call. Sat across from her in her kitchen, a beautiful kitchen in a beautiful house that suddenly felt like a crime scene. She looked nothing like the Vivian who had reached across a birthday table with perfect confidence. She looked exhausted, smaller somehow, like something had been taken from her that she couldn't name yet. And here is what I did not do. I did not say I told you so. I did not bring up the birthday dinner. I did not make her pain about my history, because that would have been about me. And this was about her. I helped her find a lawyer. A good one. I helped her understand what she was entitled to. I helped her see that the beautiful house and the life she had built professionally, her own career, her own friendships, Her own identity outside of Jake, those were hers. He couldn't take those. We talked for 3 days. Real talking. The kind we hadn't done since we were teenagers, whispering in our shared bedroom. On the 3rd night she said, "Why are you doing this? After everything?" I thought about it honestly before I answered. "Because you're my sister," I said. "And because I know what it feels like to have the floor disappear. And because the person I became after my floor disappeared, I actually like her. I want that for you too." She cried again, but differently this time. Not the desperate 2 a.m. crying. Something quieter. Something that felt like the beginning of something. On my last morning there, over coffee, Vivian said, "I need to say something and I need you to let me finish." I nodded. What I did at your birthday dinner, the way I did it, was one of the cruelest things I have ever done to another person. I told myself I was being honest. I told myself that honesty was brave. But I wasn't being brave. I was being selfish. I wanted what I wanted and I took it without thinking about the cost to you for even 1 second. She looked at her coffee cup. And the worst part is, I think some part of me wanted to take something of yours. Something just for once. Because you were always the one who was real. Who was solid. Who people trusted. And I was always just the pretty one. The loud one. And I resented you for your substance, even while I loved you. I had not expected that level of honesty. Not from Vivian. I sat with it for a moment. Really sat with it. "I know," I finally said. "I always knew that. I just didn't know if you knew it." She looked up. "I'm sorry, Elena. Truly. Not because my marriage failed. Not because I need something from you. But because you deserved better from me. Your whole life. You deserved a better sister." I reached across the table. And I put my hand on hers. Not the way she had done it at that birthday dinner. Not as a statement or a claim. Just as a sister. "You can be a better one now," I said. "That's all that matters." Vivian and Jake divorced 8 months later. Clean and final. She moved to a smaller apartment. Started over at 32. Called me every Sunday, the way Mom used to call me. We are not the same as we were before that birthday dinner. You don't go back to before. But we are something better than we were. Something more honest. More careful, more real. And Jake, I heard through family that he was already engaged to someone new within a year of the divorce. Same pattern. Different woman. Some people never change. What I want you to take from this story is not about revenge. I never got revenge on Vivian. I chose something harder than revenge. I chose to show up anyway. Because here is what I learned from all of it. The people who hurt you are often hurting in ways they don't even understand yet. That doesn't excuse what they did. It doesn't erase your pain. But sometimes, if you have the strength, showing up for them anyway is the most powerful thing you can do. Not for them. For you. Because you get to be the person who chose grace when bitterness would have been so much easier. And that is something nobody can ever take from you. Thank you for watching. If this story meant something to you, you already know what to do.